regrets. I'm blessed to say the old me dead and gone away.
Hello and welcome. I am Laon, a certified life coach and addiction recovery coach, here to teach you manifestation so you can manifest the life of your dreams. If you want any help with one-on-one coaching services, check out the drop box below. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you're on TikTok watching this live, thank you for being here. We're going to dive into a little pep talk because I feel like we all need it. It's that time of year, you know? So let's dive into this live. All right, so if you guys got any questions, ask away. But we're going to, the topic of this live is a little bit of a pep talk, right? Because it's the week of Christmas. Everybody who is manifesting, well, I can't say everybody. Some people, some individuals that are manifesting start to get a little anxious or get a little in their head about their manifestation because of the holidays, and they start putting pressure on themselves like, oh man, what if I don't hear from them, or what are they doing for the holidays, and so on and so forth. So we're going to recenter ourselves in this live. We're going to reconnect to our internal world as our only world and start to detach from the 3D. And the way that we're going to do this is internal, right? So that's what we're going to dive into. If you guys have any questions as far as like maybe you're experiencing something, or you're feeling like there's a time crunch, or you're just feeling down and out, or like want to know like how to handle different emotions feeling like this, hopefully all of that's going to get answered in, you know, when I'm speaking about it. But if you want specific to you, then, you know, just ask away. Okay, let's dive in. When it comes to manifesting anything in our reality, we don't need to put pressure, extra pressure on ourselves to have it by a certain time, okay? Because if you think about it, if we were to receive it, say, the day after Christmas, would you be upset the fact that you didn't get it right on Christmas? No, because you'd be happy with the fact that you got it. So we want to take the time crunch and urgency away from it and just recognize, wait, I'm already this version of me now. How can I give it to myself? What internal dialogue can I have to be able to reassure myself that everything's okay? How can I make myself feel safe right now, feel confident in the fact that I'm going to get my manifestation? And asking yourself these questions, you'll get different answers of like, okay, maybe I can do an imaginal act. Maybe self-talk is my thing and I can do like an inner conversation or just some dialogue to recenter myself. Like, no, I am in the reality that I want to be in. I am new self. I'm the version of me that knows what it's like to be chosen, loved, wanted, and prioritized. I have nothing to worry about because I understand that my internal world is projected out and experienced as my external. So it's only a matter of time. And because I continue to return to that state of consciousness, it has to be pushed out. Just like all the negative shit when I was in a negative state got pushed out, all of this internal navigating that I've been doing is going to also get pushed out. And I just need to have trust and faith in myself, right? And it's having that kind of dialogue with yourself, or again, the imaginal acts. It doesn't matter the technique, right? The technique is a tool to get you into that state of consciousness. So then you have the relief of, I don't care when it shows up. I'm already this new version. So it's only a matter of time that it has to show up. It has to. Because everything is a projection of me. So if I'm showing up as new self, it has to get pushed out as new self as well, right? So it's understanding that and just recentering ourselves regardless of how we're feeling, regardless of the intrusive thoughts that you may be thinking. Every thought's intrusive. Unless we're affirming, we have no control of our thoughts, right? So if we look at these thoughts or these uncomfortable feelings as, okay, they're just manifestations of my body. They're representations of an old state. But just like the 3D, because your body is a 3D representation of your state of consciousness, right? Which is why people can manifest, you know, health changes or appearance changes, because our body is a manifestation of its own. So if our body is a manifestation of our own, and you feel different things in your body and you think different thoughts in your body, those are temporary manifestations as well. It's part of the 3D, right? So if we recognize that and we take the power away from the thoughts and stop fearing, oh my God, I thought this, and that means I'm not in the state, and I have to be in the state. I continue to try, and I got to do these techniques. Oh my God, I had a negative thought. I got to flip it. And if we put ourselves in panic, then we're in the state of panic. If we can just look at these thoughts and these feelings of like impatience or frustration with our 3D, and deconstruct them in understanding like, okay, that's just a manifestation of old self. I have nothing to worry about. Because right now in this moment, which is the only moment that matters, each present moment is the only thing that matters, because it's the only thing that is present right now, right? You can decide, I am new self. And as soon as you make that decision, you are new self. It doesn't matter if you feel any different. You might feel a little bit lighter. It's not like you're going to go from, oh, I'm extremely sad and life sucks and I'm impatient and I'm frustrated and you know what, they're telling me to make a decision, so I'm going to decide I'm new self. Do you think that those feelings are going to instantly go away? Probably not. Probably not. But you'll notice as you continue to make that decision, you become lighter and lighter. The resistance of what you're feeling, like the tenseness in your body, that frustration, that panic, that worry, that anxiety, that pit sinking feeling in your stomach starts to become less and less and less. It's because you're reprogramming your mind, you're reconditioning yourself to different circumstances, reconditioning yourself to new thoughts, reconditioning yourself to a new state of consciousness. And in every single state of consciousness, we already have a set of beliefs. We already have a set of thoughts. We already have a set of feelings or emotions or sensations, as one of my clients calls them. So if we have all of that already in each state, then doesn't it make most sense to just decide I'm in a different state and everything else will kind of just align to it, right? Along with your 3D will align, but your internal world will begin to match that decision that you've been making. And those thoughts are no longer a threat if you decide that they aren't. Those feelings that are uncomfortable are no longer a threat if you decide that they aren't. That fear will begin to go away if you start to identify, okay, why am I fearing this? Would God fear this? If I had my manifestation, would I be fearing this? And you start to take the power away from those things, guess what? It's easier and easier every single time to return to that decision, return to that state of consciousness. It really isn't that complicated. Will you move out of your current place? That's up to you. Decide. If you're manifesting to move somewhere, you have to make the decision, I'm the version of me that is either going to move or has already moved. Whatever you're more comfortable with internally, like that gives you like that peace feeling or like a neutral feeling, to where you can just trust. Like, why don't you get specific on maybe where you want to move, right? Instead of just moving somewhere, why don't you maybe write a list of the things that you would like to experience when you move? Maybe it's a certain kind of location. Maybe it's a certain state. Maybe it's maybe you want it to have a place where they have like a pool or they have a garden or your own house or certain amenities. Look at all those things of what you're actually desiring, write them down and say, I'm the version of me living this life. It's a wonderful life that I'm living right now because I have a place where I feel safe. It's exactly what I want. It's affordable. Like, get clear on all of those things and then just decide this is who I am regardless of what you're currently experiencing. Go within. How do you get a crush to come to you first? Well, all we have to do is decide we're the version of us that's pursued. Okay, that's it. It doesn't matter if you're male or female. I can give you personal experience with this. I play more of the, I guess what would be considered masculine role. Now I'm supposed to be the one pursuing, right? According to standards. I don't. I can't tell you how many times I have gone out and girls come up to me and ask me for my number. Or, other SPs and stuff. I don't think I've ever asked a girl for her number. Never. Because I don't care. I'm in that role like I'm pursued. I'm loved. There's something, magnetic about me where, people are just drawn to me. They just want to be around me. They just want to have conversation with me. And that's how it's always been. So if you decide that's how it's always been for you, that you don't have to lift a finger, that, they come to you, and stop. I don't want to say like you got them on a pedestal by saying they're a crush. It doesn't matter. Just say everybody comes to you. Everybody wants to talk to you. Everyone wants to be around you. You have magnetic energy. You have this aura about you that is just so amazing that they're just drawn to you. Whatever self-talk you want to have about it, just decide this is who I am now. I know what it's like to be pursued. I know what it's like to always get my crush. I know what it's like to get everything that I want. And that's it. It's just entertaining that state. And then trusting. So say if in your 3D you're not getting movement, then okay, recognize that doesn't matter. I'm deciding to be a new self, so it's turning in her mind, or his mind, whatever, I'm going to use the example of her. It's turning in her mind to pursue me. She's trying to come up with ways and think about ways to catch my attention. She's trying to come up with ways to talk to me because she's nervous. She wants to talk to me just as badly as I want to talk to her. She's been thinking about me just as often as I've been thinking about her. She's been crushing on me longer than I've been crushing on her. And flip it. Turn the tables. Okay? Go on with that narration and then come back. Let me know how it goes. I want to work with you. You check out my website. Everything's linked in the bio. I just did different coaching packages. So I have text coaching packages, and then I also have like video call packages as well, or just like a one-time call. It's up to you. All of that's on the website, which is linked in the bio if you want to. I'd love to work with you. I'd like that. Okay, if you emailed me, I'll get back to you as soon as we get off the well. Actually, not as soon as we get. I have an appointment after, but I will get back to you by the end of the day. My SP is conforming so much. Ooh, I love that. I love that. That is awesome. Yeah, all right. He already said how much he's in love with you. Again, this stuff works, guys. If you want to share in the chat, like what you did, not as far as like technique, but like the state, right? Explain that. Explain it. So then other people, it's not just a coach, saying it. Give the example, okay? Give the example. Because people love shit like that. But that's awesome. You already have it. It's a done deal. It's in the bag. It's kind of like when you shoot your shot in basketball, right? Whoosh. Got it. It was pure net. You got it. Yeah, circumstances don't matter. They really don't. As soon as you change, the circumstances will change shortly after. It might not be immediately. Who the fuck cares if it's immediately? You'll notice that when you begin to change your state, you don't care about the 3D. The time that it's taking, you don't care about what's going on in it. You are cemented in a completely different perspective of the way that you are even viewing your reality. That's why you'll recognize that the circumstances don't matter, and you'll start taking on that mindset. Instead of just saying it to yourself when you're in a victim state, like, oh, why are all these coaches saying circumstances don't matter? They definitely fucking matter. I'm sitting here experiencing shit that I don't like. It fucking matters to me. I'm heartbroken. Well, yeah, it's because you're in that state. So that's all you're going to perceive, right? But when you shift your state of consciousness and continue to return to a new state, return to a new identity, guess what? Your perspective begins to change. You start to realize, wait, this really doesn't matter. I'm new self. I start to feel more whole in peace with who I am. Nothing can disrupt my peace because I know who I am. I'm just trusting in who I am. And you'll notice that you'll start getting movement, which then builds your trust up even more. Do you believe sleep affirmations work? Sleep affirmation tapes work? Yeah. Yeah. Whatever you believe what works for you is what will work for you. I've done sleep affirmation tapes. I actually, I just took it off my website, but I used to make custom subliminals for people because I found that they were extremely helpful for me. But through the expansion of my knowledge and continuing to learn and grow and read more books and things like that, which if you guys don't know, on my YouTube channel, I have different playlists filled with Neville Goddard's lectures and filled with different book recommendations. If it's something that I prefer to go straight to the source, not watch YouTube videos about these things, go straight to the source of the people that have been doing this before we were even born. So if those are things you want to check out, all of that's on my YouTube channel in different playlists. But, I continue to learn and grow, and I recognize, like, hey, we don't even need these things. They're just tools. It's like anything else. And I've come to the understanding, like, it's as simple as just making that decision and returning to that decision. And Neville talks about this. If you ever notice, if you ever read any of Neville's books, and this is what captured my attention about it, is you have all these people right now in this new age of manifestation, right? That you got to change your self-concept. You got to flip your thoughts. You got to do this. You got to do that. In Neville's books, never once did he say, you have to dig up all of your beliefs. You have to heal your trauma. You have to flip your thoughts. Never did he say any of that. Literally all he says is decide what you want, return to that state, return to that decision of your end, and be that version of you now, regardless of what you're seeing. You're already in Barbados, right? This is a famous one. And all of his success stories are people that the explanation that they're giving is, here's the circumstance that I was experiencing in the 3D. And the way that I got out of that circumstance is I had inner conversation, or I visualized me and my end. And then guess what happened? They got their manifestation shortly after. Regardless of what they were experiencing, regardless of the odds, they continued to be new self and show up as new self internally, and then it got projected out. I've never seen any of his success stories say, well, I went through and I wrote out all of my beliefs, and then I flipped the beliefs, then I flipped the thoughts, and I did this, and I did. It was literally as simple as I got clear on what I wanted. I imagined that I was that version of me, whatever technique they used. I imagined I was that version of me. And then I started seeing how my reality started to reflect that. So that's what stood out to me. Wait, it really is that simple, right? There wasn't this whole reprogramming process. You just decide what you want and be that version of self, right? So that's what stood out to me with, all of the books that I was reading and stuff, where I'm like, the shit that's being tossed around on the internet is a lot of work. And we don't need to put in that much work. If you enjoy it, then do it. Like I said, I'm not against sleep tapes. I've used them. I've done it before, and it worked. It really did help. But like I said before, in each state of consciousness, you have a set of beliefs that match that state of consciousness. You have a set of thoughts and emotions and feelings and sensations that match that state of consciousness. As soon as you decide your new self, your internal world already begins to shift to where you have different belief system. So what we could do it that way, which is a very simple way, right? Not much work. Or we can do it the way of, I'm going to change the beliefs. And because I'm changing the beliefs, it changes the thoughts and the feelings. And because I'm changing all of that, I now can change my state. It's easier to change my state, right? So it's kind of like one's going from state and then everything else just falls into place. And the other one is more like I'm building dominoes, so then it can all fall into place, right? So hopefully that makes sense. I feel like I'm giving up on my SP manifestation. Okay. Since you're not seeing any movement. Well, we're identifying, if you think about it, what are you losing here? If you continue to decide, I'm new self, what are you losing, right? Once we recognize that, you could either continue to be a victim and not have what you want anyways, or you can continue to be on this journey, learning and growing and understanding like, hey, at some point I'm going to figure this out, so I'm going to click into place, I'm going to have what I want. So why give up, right? Why give up? There's really you're just giving up on yourself. Let's be honest here. You're just giving up on yourself. You're giving up on your goals. You're giving up on your specific person, right? We don't have to. The reason why I'm guessing, I'm assuming, right? The reason why you're feeling how you're feeling is because you're doing techniques trying to make a change in this reality, which is understandable, right? Because we want shit to change. We want to experience our specific person. We want to experience the love of our life and unconditional love and support and happiness. But if you give up, you're still not going to experience it, right? You're still going to have to walk around with yourself. Even if you decide, okay, I don't want that person anymore, I gave up on them, I'm going to manifest someone new. Well, guess what? You're still going to have you to deal with. You just created a little resistance, right? To the idea of, well, I couldn't manifest that specific person. So even if I go to manifest a new specific person, I don't know if I can do it. It was hard last time. Why should I even bother? You're setting yourself back when you don't need to. So instead of looking at it from the point of view of I'm doing these things to try to make a change in my reality, start to change that point of view of I'm doing these things so then I can feel better about myself, so then I can trust in me, so then I can know that my life can change because I'm deciding to where I never give up on myself, where I just have faith in me. And because I'm doing that, then guess what? My reality will have to change at some point. Start thinking about the point of view you would be coming from if you already had the manifestation. It wouldn't be from the point of view of, man, I just can't figure this out. Like, I'm just going to give up. I'm exhausted. This shit doesn't work. If you had your manifestation, it'd be more from the thinking point of view and the perception of, this works. I can't believe I've ever thought about giving up, because now I'm living my best life. I'm so in love. I have my specific person. I feel so powerful. I feel amazing. I feel like I can have anything at my fingertips right now. It's a completely different point of view. So start having that self-talk, right? Start to be the change, and you will experience the change, right? Maybe have some inner conversations. Instead of looking at your specific person as separate from you, we're all entangled. We're all a projection, right? So nothing is separate. If you start to understand that, remind yourself, wait, she's not separate, or I'm just giving an example. She's not separate from me. I'm going to be the version of me right now that's talking to her, that gets consistent movement. And start saying, I get consistent movement. My 3D is constantly reflecting who I am. I'm constantly seeing how things are working out. Because again, that's the state we will be in. Because our perception, if we continue to identify and perceive a reality of, I never get movement, guess what you're going to experience? The state of consciousness where you never get movement. But if you start to identify and tell yourself, regardless of what the 3D is showing, and start to detach from the 3D, I get movement. I always get movement. Nothing to give up on, because I got it right here. I got it within me. When you continue to do that, you be in the state of consciousness of, hey, I'm actually getting movement. And you'll actually see movement, right? Because your perception will begin to change. There's always movement happening. But because of our RAS system, our belief system that filters out our reality of what we can and can't perceive, depending on our state, you could be getting movement, but physically not being able to see that movement because of your filtration system. Okay? So, with that being said, there's no reason to give up. Just be in the state of consciousness, or maybe have the inner conversations, because again, I was touching on the fact that we're not separate. Have the inner dialogue. If you can hear their voice or not, it doesn't matter. Talk to them. Connect with them. Everything that's going on in here is, we're all connected. They can hear you. You know? Some way, somehow, they're hearing you. So, start telling the story of what you do want. Have the inner conversation with them of what you do want. Talk to them. I love you. I know that you love me. I know that this is going to work out. I know that I'm going to figure this out, and we're going to be together. And we're going to be in love and happy, and you're going to communicate with me all the time. And, you know, we make each other feel safe. I know that there's trust between us. Whatever, right? Whatever's going to bring you peace in that moment. Just continue to do that whenever you need to, right? It's not about the amount of time that we do it. It's about the state that it gets us into. Does it put you in peace? Does it give you like that neutral, balanced feeling? Does it kind of just lighten you a little bit? That pit sinking feeling that you're feeling right now, or that desperation that you're feeling right now, does it lighten that a little bit? That's all that matters. That's how you know it's working. So maybe play around with those things, right? And stop perceiving your reality as, this is factual out here, when everything in here is factual. I was just explaining to one of my clients earlier that it's like going up to, you're at the movie theater and you don't like this one character because he's a villain. And it's like going up to the movie screen and punching him in the face. Well, do you think that villain just fucking felt that? No, it's a screen, right? There's no point in attacking the 3D. There's no point in judging the 3D. When we could just go up to where the projector is and say, fuck you, I don't like this movie, take it out, and then put in the movie what you do want. And then the projection will change, and there's nothing to get angry or upset about or frustrated with in the thing that's being projected, right? You can actually sit back and enjoy the movie, get some popcorn, and relax. Take a deep breath. No, that's all good, right? Cool. So you manifested getting into your dream college, which is freaking awesome. That's, again, guys, this stuff works. Oh, here we go, though. But in my last live, I was ripping on people. Like, there are no buts. There's no buts. You manifested your dream college. So if that means you know that you are God of your reality, there are no buts. If there's anything else that you want, just continue to be that version of you and everything else will fall in place. But I'll finish your question. It doesn't matter. The rest of the question is, but they're worried because you've been missing. Okay, it doesn't matter, right? Just decide you're the version of you that, wait, everything's falling into place. I'm doing exactly what I need to. They're not worried about anything. Take their power away because everything in our reality, everything, every person is a projection of us. So if we decide that they're cool, calm, and collected, then guess what? That's exactly what you will experience. So again, cut off the buts. If you ask a question, I get it, ask a question, but, cut it off. Manifest what you do want, decide to be that version of you. There are no buts. There are no limitations. There are no, well, God can do this, but it can't do that. Or universe can do this, but it can't do that. Again, you don't get wet by the word water. I don't care what you call source energy or whatever. But yeah, so just continue to decide what you do want and be that version of self. How to not get triggered by SP when conforming. Okay, it's not the fact that you can't get triggered. You can have an initial reaction to something, but as soon as you're done with that initial reaction, it's having the discipline and practice, right, of this doesn't matter. It's recognizing, why am I even getting triggered in the first place? Would universe get triggered by this? Would God get triggered by this? Would my higher self that knew that all of this was all worked out anyways, and I was going to have what I want, get triggered by this? And it's taking a step back and recognizing, no, none of those things would get triggered by this. So why am I having a human reaction to what is going on right now? What am I believing in? Well, you're believing in more in your 3D than in your internal world. So again, taking the hooks out of your internal world and putting everything back onto you. Who am I being in this moment? The fact that I just got triggered, I understand. I'm a human. It happens. Now, where can I redirect myself to be the version of me that has my manifestation? How can I do that? And in making that decision and returning to that state, regardless of what you may be temporarily feeling or what's temporary going on in your 3D, if he's starting to conform, recognizing, wait, I've made it this far because I'm new self. So my only job is to process my emotions and then return to the state of where I have what I want. And it's that simple, right? It's not judging our 3D. It's not judging the fact that we just got triggered. It's just processing whatever we felt, that gut punch, maybe that we experienced, and saying, woosah, it's okay, because I'm going to be new self, and all of this is going to take care of itself somehow, some way. Don't have to understand it. It's all going to take care of itself. That's it. All right, so due to your sickness and your family matters, you know that you could stop this, that you're having trouble. Okay, again, it's taking the awareness off of whatever it is that's currently going on in your reality and understanding it's a projection of me. I just have to go within. I understand that this seems really real, especially with sickness. Stop identifying with the sickness. I'm a healthy person, right? And we want to do that. I'm a healthy person. I understand I might not be feeling well, but it's a physical manifestation in my body that I can change with my mind, with my imagination. What would it be like? What would I feel like? What experiences would I be having if I was healthy, if I was feeling good? And start to internally be that version of you, right? And then same with family matters. If you're sitting there assuming, well, I got all these family stuff going on and whatever, again, then the chaos is going to continue to persist because that's what we're focusing on. So we just go within. Family matters are all taken care of. The sickness is all taken care of because I'm deciding to be new self. And because I'm new self and I know that infinite possibilities exist, I'm going to be the version of me where I'm in the possibility of being healthy, that my family life is very peaceful, and I have nothing to worry about. There's nothing in my reality that I need to stress about. I'm just going to continue to focus on me and my experience internally. Then it will begin to match it. So you want to ask, if you're feeling good for months and then you see them and then see them happy on social media, it doesn't matter. Stop watching their social media, because everything's a projection of you. It's not about, you've been doing really good for months. Are you identifying as a new version of you, right? How are you perceiving this? The fact that you're perceiving social media and them being happy through the lens of, and it's starting to shift your state. You're viewing it from the lens of, but they're happy without me. And I see them on social media and I haven't gotten, the movement of what I do want. Again, you just shifted into the state where you don't have what you want. So again, if social media is going to trigger you, then kind of take a step back, right? We don't need to watch anything in our 3D. We need to detach from the 3D. Not that you can't think about your manifestation. It's detaching from the 3D because it has to catch up, right? It's just a projection of old story of where we've been at. If we continue to identify as a new version of ourselves, the one who's in the relationship that gets what they want, to where their specific person is only happy with them and you guys are in love and everything worked out perfectly, then that's what has to happen. You have to be this new version of you, though. It's not about, I've been doing, really good for a couple of months, but, I'm not getting movement. Well, have you really been in the state then? Because it wouldn't bother you if you're not, depending on what movement you're getting, nothing would faze you. You would just be like nonchalant, living your life, knowing that it has to come somehow, some way, it's going to unfold. So be aware of that. Who are you being? Who are you actually being? Be authentic with yourself. Be honest with yourself. Who are you being? And recognizing that social media or anything that you see in our 3D doesn't matter. Unless it's the full manifestation of what we do want, we're going to continue to identify as a new version of us, because that's the only thing that matters. So if we're seeing something in our 3D, again, process whatever emotions come up and then decide again, I don't care what the fuck my 3D is showing me. I am new self. And tell the story of what you do want. Hold on. Does that mean you have to manifest all over? You just be new self. You never start from the beginning, right? Because there is no beginning. It's kind of like there really is no end. It's the present moment right now. Who are you choosing to be right now? That's all that matters. And each moment, present moment after present moment after present moment, deciding, right? This is who I am. When your desire comes to mind, what point of view are you looking at it from? Are you looking at it from the fact of, I'm trying to manifest. This isn't working. I'm not seeing any movement. I'm not feeling any better. I don't think that this is ever going to work. I want to believe in this, but I'm not seeing evidence of it. Are you coming from that? Or are you coming from the state of, somehow, some way, I'm going to get exactly what I want because I am new self. I am confident in who I'm being. Every single day I'm feeling better and better. I'm going to consistently start seeing movement and getting what I want. You have two choices here. Choose which one you would rather have. And it's that simple. When the desire comes to mind, look at it from the point of view of, I have it. It's a done deal. It's going to happen. It has to happen because I'm showing up as new self. That's it. That's it. So it's never starting over. Each present moment, you are deciding who you are. Oh yeah, dude. I got to get going. Sorry I didn't get to answer all the questions, but I have an appointment that I got to get to. So, guys, thank you for being here. I truly appreciate each and every single one of you. This live, probably within the next couple of days, will be reposted onto my YouTube channel. If you don't follow me over there, please go and do so, because I've been posting banging content over there, really putting a lot of my focus. That's where I feel inspired right now to put my focus. So yeah, go follow me on there if you could. And if you want any help, one-on-one coaching services, please email me and or check out the website with all of the coaching packages if you want, but you don't need coaching. I just gave you all the gems. All of my channel is everything that you need, but if you want a little bit more direct help, then it's available if you want it. But as always, guys, thank you for being here. Amazing questions, really some different questions too, which I enjoy that. But anyways, thank you for being here. You got this.